welcome back to Boys and Ghouls Film Review, folks. I'm your host, Sarah Stephenson, and this is my co-host, Mike Stephenson.
Hi, guys.
So tonight we are reviewing a movie that's not too old but not too new, called Terrifier, that was released in 2016.
Now, one of the reasons why we're doing this is it only had a limited release. And maybe, just maybe, it flew under the radar.
Ooh. Yeah. But for a movie that's been under the radar, it has a good story plot and a lot of suspense. And this is the type of film that I wish to cover on for Halloween.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
Strictly not for kiddies.
Yeah, because I do think after we've been reviewing a couple of hit and miss ones, then we wanted to review for you guys because we wanted to review them because they're interesting. But this one, it does take my breath away whenever I look at this movie, because in this one, it's got a small budget and
very small, actually very, very small budget, and for what the budget was, they got good value for money out of it. Yeah.
Yes.
I think so anyway.
I think so too.
But who am I?
Yes, so
You're supposed to be nice to me now.
Yes, so this is another one that's directed and written by the same person or people.
Well, obviously it's independent of some sort. Okay, here we go. Produced by Damien Leone. I think it's the right name. Leone. Leone. Philip Falcone, and George Stubar.
Right.
Now, it was written by Damien, and it was directed by Damien, and George did the camera work. So it was very much a closed shop, and edited by Damien. So there you go. So Damien was pretty much a hands-on individual here.
Yeah, well, you've got to have that type of enthusiasm on a project. And by the sounds of it, I think he knew where he was going with this one.
I think so. I mean, it's not the greatest movie in the world, obviously, because of the budget. But 35, I think it's 35. $35,000, I think, was well invested in this movie for what mileage I got out of it from the camera, the cast and crew.
Yeah. Well, aside from that, this one would be up there with Halloween, Friday the 13th,
I think
and
so, yeah.
Chainsaw Massacre, and
I'll say more like Chainsaw Massacre. That was a bit of a
I just mean like
it,
that. This movie will take place among them, turning it into a horror icon thingy wing, which a lot of people would be still praising till say another couple more years.
Another 20 years. Yeah.
So this movie is up there amongst the greats. So this guy is in good company in this production. Yeah. So, go on, Mike.
Prattle on now.
Prattle on.
Prattle.
Like, I want to know who stars in it. It's a small cast.
I'll get back on the budget and everything else. Yeah. Now, it only had limited release. There went to quite a few cinemas, but probably very, very, very short run and whatever. And they released it straight onto DVD or streaming or whatever. Yeah, whatever. Okay, now, budget, like I said, 35,000. Box office only about 416, but it still made a profit. Okay, so that's you got to look at this. It made a profit, and it's probably making a lot more money going on the DVDs and everything else now. So home media is a blessing for these type. Okay, and streaming services. Now here we go. A few of the players as we let's have a look at it. Jenna Cannell, Kanell, plays Tara. Samantha Scafidi plays Victoria, her sister. Catherine Corcoran plays Dawn, who is Tara's best friend. Now, David Howard Thornton plays Art the Clown.
I know David.
Anyway, and a lady, I'll mention this other person here, just one more person. Puya Mosini plays the cat lady.
Meow.
Only reason why I'm mentioning her is she's really interesting. She plays it really, really good. So I think she needs a clap on the back or a bit of praise for her playing a mad cat lady.
Yeah, well, you got to admit, there is, aside from the horror and mystery in this movie, it has a little bit of a theatrical approach to this one.
When you get the blend right. A little bit of comedy in it so far as you got the cat lady, who's really out of touch reality like you wouldn't believe. We won't go in it, Sarah. I'll tell the story in a minute. Yeah, it's just it's a touch of humour in a horror or a slasher movie can actually lighten it and get you ready for the bad bits.
And when he means bad, he means good.
Yeah, well, good, bad bits, bad, good bits, whatever. Yeah, so you get, oh, this is really, really nice. Then something horrible happens. Yeah, you get the light and the dark. The black and the white. The good and the bad. The yin and the yang. So it works pretty good.
Yeah, and there's a lot of room for grey. You
don't like shades of grey. My other daughter watches 50 Shades of Grey all the time. Oh, wrong shades. What? Wrong shades of grey. Sorry, my mistake.
Yeah, well, this movie seems to have many shades, even though it takes place at night time, and there's a lot of noir type filming in this one. I think.
Well,
you call it noir.
I don't know. Maybe new noir. Maybe I don't know. But leave it up to you guys if you decide to watch it. But yeah, maybe a bit of a new noir in it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it's still a horror movie, all the same.
It's a nice little slasher piece, and this time of year. Oh, this is the month, yeah.
Seeing as it's getting close to Halloween, it's a perfect movie for Halloween, is what we're saying.
Exactly.
Considering
we're looking for something to scare the pants off you.
Yeah, seeing as this movie takes place on Halloween, costume, candy, lollies, and
things.
The tricks. Like Trick or Treat.
And they thought he was just somebody dressed up.
Yeah, so you guys know, also the guy who directed this, he also made an anthology series called Halloween's Eve, I think it was called, or whatever.
Whatever's a good name.
And that sort of had the art clown in it. And
that was done before this, wasn't it?
What?
Was that done before this or after this?
Yeah, before this.
Yeah, that's what I think you got the idea of.
I think you watched it one time with my sister, and that's where I recognized art right away.
Here it is. No, All Hallows Eve. It was done in 2013. As Sarah said, it was an anthology. There was 3 shorts made into the anthology.
Yeah,
and that's where he first popped up his pretty little head.
Of course, this one was done by not David, but a different actor. But somehow David's going to come back for the sequel to Terrifier that I'm going to probably review for you guys probably next time on this channel, obviously. So, anyway, we might as well dive into the story.
Yeah, jump in, splash.
So the story begins. It takes place 1 year before the incident takes place, where this woman who's badly disfigured, is being interviewed on television.
She has been in a nut house, has she? Or an infirmary or a hospital or something?
Hospital, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's on television talking about the previous thing that took place that kind of mutated her face beyond recognition. You could not recognize her, there's no point. And at the end of the interview, the lady who's the interviewer goes on the phone, tells how horrible that this person looks and stuff like that. But then she hears a click, weird noise, and then we see that weird person behind her, and she kind of kills her, obviously, or hurts her as badly, and she then giggles, and then we travel back into 1 year ago, or how many years ago was it?
I think it was 12 months prior. I think.
Yeah, so it could be 1 year ago. So anyway,
this says a previous Halloween, so it would have been done about 12 months later, near Halloween again. Yeah.
So she, Tara and her friend Dawn are going, I guess, finishing up. They're just leaving from a Halloween party, and they're heading off to a cafe, and they notice something weird. A weird stranger following them. And he actually comes to the restaurant or cafe that they go into, and he's looking at Tara quite weirdly and creepily.
Well, she's a good-looking woman,
Yes.
And clowns really don't get too many girls, ask them out.
Yeah, anyway, as they're ordering their food and stuff like that, he starts coming onto Tara and even gives her a ring to show how much he likes her.
A plastic one.
Yeah, one of those...
out of a novelty bag.
Yeah, anyway, he slips onto her finger and he sort of like... He doesn't talk. He's like a mime.
Actually, he doesn't say one word. Even when later on he's fighting and being beaten up, he doesn't say one word.
No, not one. He's like a mime. I often wonder to myself that some people often ask me about why slasher killers don't talk. Well, usually it's the suspense and frills and chills.
Yeah.
And
is it a male?
And if
is it a female? Is it a Chinese? Is it Japanese? Is it Russian? Or is it white American? You don't know.
Yeah, because if the person talks, then you know that they're three-dimensional.
Sounds like a white American. Or, it sounds a bit Chinesey to me. No, you don't know who it is.
That's not the point, Mike. I meant
that... No, we don't know. It keeps a bit of mystery. You don't,
Yeah.
Well, we saw one the other day, and it actually... it was a male's voice, but a female... in the clothes. What was that one called?
I think you're referring to the LA slasher one.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. So I thought that person's walking funny, but had a male's voice, but it's only a voiceover. So he had a mask on.
Yeah.
So it was actually female. So it was throwing these wild cards. It sounds like a male, looks like a female. I don't know what it is. And I kept thinking all the way through the show, the film, there's something wrong here. And it was female and actually dressed up as a male. Yeah.
Anyway, the girls leave the diner. I think, it's a diner. And they head off to their car, where they find that the car wheels get slashed.
Yeah.
Or not slashed, or blown up.
Well,
according to one of the girls.
She said, it's blown up. Yeah, well, she didn't think it was slashed. So she thought, it must have been blown up.
Well, I think that in one scene it was blown up. And another later scene, they say something about the tires were slashed. I don't know the difference between blown up...
She would not expect someone to go along and slash the tyre, so she thought, maybe it just blew. If it might have been, what do you call it?
I believe slashing will be believable than blown up.
No, you get a faulty tyre. The wall collapses and it breaks a hole through it, and that's it. So they can blow. Anyway,
Tara instantly thinks it's the weird art clown who's around, obviously. And then we hear, when they call her sister, who's at home she's
at home in a dorm or wherever, studying.
And she's asked to come pick them up. So she does eventually leave.
And this is Victoria, isn't it? Victoria? Yeah.
Yes. So she makes a plan of going without bothering with it, because she didn't want to stay and watch her roommate make out.
Her roommate just came home with her boyfriend. They're going to do, they get down into the business and start, in the same room. Hello. Yes, it's bare wheel,
Anyway, soon enough, as they're heading off, they kind of run into, well, actually, she goes inside a building because she desperately wants to go to the toilet, and there she runs into the guy who's a sort of a exterminator who says he says, no, I will not let you into the building because this is not really my building. I'm just there just to do a job.
Yeah, exterminate. And so what? Mice? No, it's fleas, spiders, no, rats. Hasn't been used for a while, hey?
Yeah, he does allow her to go in there, and he's as promised that she'll probably leave after...
Have a quick leak and get out of there, yeah.
While this is happening, the girl Dawn is on her phone, and she's listening to the radio, and the radio says, this weird person who in a white clown outfit is roaming the area and hurting, killing individuals. So if you see this person, please contact the police as quickly as possible.
I've never trusted clowns.
She quickly tries to dial up her phone, and while she's doing this, she hears the door open, thinking it's her friend Tara, but it's not. It turns out to be Art the Clown, and he kills her. And while this is happening, Tara is, after she's refreshed herself and do whatever, she heads out to the car, and there she sees her I don't know. I don't think she sees her friend dead. I think she sees her disappeared, obviously.
Did she see something, a mask or a handbag? Or
Yeah, a mask or a handbag.
She saw something there which she would not have left that there. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
that's
sort of
true.
thing. Yeah.
She goes back inside the building and tries to search for her friend, I guess. She finds her. She actually is hanged up. Is she hanged upside? No, she's not hanged upside down. I mean, Wait.
She's well hung.
She's hanged. I'm not going to. I'm just going to say she's hanged.
She's hung up by her arms.
And the guy in the clown starts torturing her and starts slicing into her body in a creepy kind of way. And I think I've read somewhere that this idea came from one of Ed Gein's photos of one of the dead girls he killed in the past.
Ed Gein has lots of answers for folks.
Oh, yes, a lot of inspiration too.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Saint Masquerade as one of them.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, she does find her friend's dead body, and she nearly gets chased down by Art the Clown, I think, for a bit. And we also see, aside from sharp, he has some scalpels, knives, which me and Mike think that he may be either a medical student or maybe someone who in the medical profession, or maybe even an escape nutcase who just stole a few odds and ends from the hospital staff.
Yeah, a bag of scalpels and stuff, Yeah, all the good bits. Yeah.
Anyway, she tries to warn the guy who's cleaning the building, but he's distracted.
He got his earphones on, he's humming to himself, so he can't hear squat. Yeah.
Of course, Art does torture her and stuff like that. You think that in this scene she would be for our final girl or something like that, but she's not. Anyway, he does take out a gun and he kind of shoots her multiple times in the face, I think.
I can't remember. I think so, yeah.
Well, actually, I think he even stabs her a couple of times too.
Yeah, I think he stabbed her as well. He did lots of good groups. Yeah. He did shoot her to death, yeah. I think my memory serves me correctly, yeah.
Her sister, Victoria, I think, arrives and she searches for her friend, and she eventually heads inside the building complex and she tries to search for her, and of course she finds her body and stuff like that, and she freaks out, obviously. And then, of course, we do have a lot of chase scenes in this and a lot of hiding moments where she hides from Art the Clown, and Art Clown kills the guy who's the exterminator or whatever, and he also, a person who he works for also comes there and he gets killed too, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I'm rushing through it, guys. It's just that there were so many scenes where you're running around.
During this period of time, the cat lady witnesses what was going on.
She actually warns the exterminator at one point,
and
but he doesn't believe her. She goes on to explain that this guy's killing people, stuff like that.
And he thinks she's a crazy old cat lady, so he doesn't believe a word she says, which is the way it goes. And a little bit later on,
she eventually gets killed by the Art the Clown.
And a little bit like in Silence of the Lamb, he takes a few bits and pieces off him and puts upon his own body. A scalp, was it, and breasts or something?
Yeah. To full.
You cut out some of her hair.
I think he was pretending to be Terror, I think, and he fools Victoria for a bit, but Victoria sees through this act and tries to run away, obviously. Anyway, as there's a lot of hiding moments, as I said before, and she does run into the exterminator guy, and he tries to help her escape, obviously, but he eventually, Art the Clown, he kills this guy, and we then get a few more moments where she runs from him, and eventually he takes a car and drives into the garage door, knocking her out, and when she's knocked out, he starts chewing on her face, I think.
Yeah, I think, he wasn't kissing her, he wasn't sucking faces, chewing it.
Yeah.
So
soon enough,
part of the face went away.
Police arrive, and they were kind of phoned in by the exterminator fellow before. He kind of phoned them and told them where to find the place, obviously. And they shot Art the Clown a couple of times, and of course they find that Victoria's still alive. She's the girl we saw at the beginning, obviously.
Yeah, when the one was being interviewed. Yeah.
Then we, I guess, we cross over to the sort of what do they call it? What do they call it?
Morgue.
The morgue.
Yeah,
obviously.
the morgue.
The police
yeah.
morgue, where, which looks really funny when I think about the scene. I think it's all done in the same building
yeah.
all the time when they're doing this.
Limited budget, you know.
Anyways, which is okay.
Could have been worse. Could have been on McDonald's or somewhere.
True.
It was
So,
a room. Yeah.
while he's examining the bodies, when he's about to examine Art the clown, a weird flashing feeling comes across the room, like some static.
The lights flicker and stuff when the EMF starts to play up when there's something spooky getting ready to go on. Yeah.
And soon enough, Art sort of rise from his
Actually, we'll flip this back a bit. Back at the other place, when the police got there, Art picked up a gun and had a gun, and he shot himself in the mouth.
Oh yeah, he shot himself. I forgot.
Yes, and you saw the back of his skull splatter a little bit.
Yeah, so if you think that he came back to life because he didn't shoot himself properly,
No, I've got a funny feeling it's either one or the other. It has to be either he used a prop gun and a little explosion thing in his skull cap, or he's an undead and he can't be killed.
Then we cross back to the present, where her parents are just talking to the doctor, and they're talking about her upcoming interview on the television. And
she seems reasonably normal.
Yeah, and then we
don't see her face much at the
yeah,
beginning, do we?
We do see her face. We see the fact she has no eyes per se,
and half her face
has been chewed and scarred badly.
Scarred
then
badly. Yeah,
you're
going to get a job in retail or something.
As if that was going to happen. Then we kind of fade out at this point. So that was Terrifier. I'm sorry I'm rushing ahead, guys, because there was plenty of moments where you're watching the characters run from Art, and plenty of creepy, suspenseful bits in this one.
Yeah. Right at the end, did they do the recap right at the end back at the the TV station as well?
No.
No, but it was figured out that she was the one
who survived.
Vicky. And originally at the beginning I thought, it was a cat lady, but then the cat lady got killed during the movie.
It seems the following women in this movie are the cat lady, Tara, and Victoria, who have all dark hair. Because you see, as a main feature in this, in the opening, that her hair's a dark black color or dark brown
all
color.
brunettes. Yeah.
And the other girl, Dawn, she had blonde hair.
That's
so
right. Yeah.
to narrow it down, it would have been those three women, most likely,
and
all that
at
stuff.
the beginning I thought, maybe the cat lady and the other guy got killed, but then we found out that the cat lady went to pieces. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought it was funny.
I did thought for a bit, Mike, that it was going to be Tara to be the final girl, because she was the one who suspected something sinister about Art, because she was creeped out by him, and final girls always get this creeped out impression about the stalker that's stalking them, obviously. And of course, Victoria, whom we don't know enough about, because we only know she's her sister, and we don't know if she's the likable kind of character. So we just assume that she's an okay girl who's just going to pick up her sister and take her back to the dorm. I don't know. It's still... I mean, I guess when I see the sequel, hopefully, it will tell me more about whether or not she's an okay... Well, actually, seeing as this one takes place a few years later, by this time she's probably lost her brain or marbles, so there may not be a point of actually humanizing her at this point, because it could have new victims and new people that will... And we'll explain how Art somehow survives. I think it's going to be something supernatural, like...
I reckon he's like a Michael Myers or something, right? He's not going to die easily.
Yeah, or Jason Voorhees. It's clear from in both those ones that in this one, he's going to be another immortal being.
Or Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
Freddy can't kill Freddy, he's already dead.
Because you're going to always have your icon horror guys who will never die, obviously. So Art the Clown is no different.
And there's no backstory.
Well, we'll find out in the sequel. There might be a backstory there.
What I'm saying, we don't in this first movie. There's no backstory saying who is he, where did he come from. We got no idea. Anyway,
Well,
here we go. A bit of behind the scenes crap here. Blah 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 blah. Okay, right. The original time that Art the Clown showed up was in that anthology we spoke about before,
right?
And that was actually played by what's his name? I can't remember his name. Yeah, Mike Gianelli played the one in the anthology, but he didn't want to go and reprise the role for a movie because he wanted to go and do other things. So along comes David Howard Thornton. Now, this is the part that tickles my fancy. He was cast in the role after improvising a kill scene in mime.
Ooh.
There you go. Because I get the impression that he wasn't supposed to talk anyway, so he improvised it for... He did his own improv and did a killing scene without talking.
Sweet.
And they impressed him so much, says, you got the job. You're really good. Yeah, so that's what I call dedicated actor.
True.
Now, we talked about releases and stuff. It had a very limited release as far as I'm aware. It might have gone to a lot of picture theatres, cinemas, if you will. But there might have just been the little art house typies. I don't know, out of the way. And the big multiplexes may not have even got a look in. I didn't care about it. But whatever the reason, they didn't make a lot at the box office. But I would say from the critical response and everything else and the availability of DVDs and Blu-rays, there's a market for it. So home media, it must be making some extra bucks. So there you go. Then. But $35,000, and I looked at what value they got for money out of this. I think, wow. For what it is, yeah. I reckon you can't go past these sorts of movies because they're fresh. Yeah, well, in most cases they're fresh. A slightly different theme, a different killer's type. Yeah, we have brought in the Clown. I got the idea from the anthology. Yeah, okay, obviously, but they wrote a movie, brought in Art the Clown into it, and they filmed it in an old building somewhere. And out in the street, they did a pizza shop as well. But apart from that, most of it was done in an old building.
Yeah.
Which meant that they kept costs down. I don't know if anybody got paid, but everybody liked it. Well, I think not everybody. I think a lot of the critics did like it for what it was. So there you go. Even Rotten Tomatoes, approval rating of 55. That's not a lot, but the average rating, critical census says all about spicy kills. Well, naturally, that's what you want to watch these for, isn't it? What? Kills? You don't say, we're going to have a nice time and place Scrabble. No, we're going to get some people carved up for a knife or something or other, or a scalpel, or get someone shot, or whatever. So it's pretty good. Starburst praised the performances of some of the people as the attractive leads and hold the attention. So the two lead girls were pretty damn good. It was also praised the balance of the suspense and gore in the movie. So they had the right amount of suspense. They didn't just go, here's a jump scare and here's a dead bit. Now they build up to the jump scare. And all of a sudden, something's going on. Wacko. There you go. And that's what you want. You want it all to come together, not a bit here and a bit there. And I think they've nailed it. For a cheap B, bordering on, would you call it a B movie or a B plus movie? What would you call it?
Well, I would not see this as a B movie.
No.
But I don't see this... I think
it's not top of the pile A movie.
I think it's
it's in the middle.
I think it's an A movie to me because it's something that we haven't done before, because in the past, previously, a lot of people who are trying too hard, but I think Terrifier it didn't try so hard. It tried really hard, and it worked out in the process, and it added a twist ending and a twist beginning, and it came together in the end, which is what you want in a movie like this. It filled in the blanks. Not really filled in the blanks, but it didn't need padding so much. It kept it keeps all the time. The slasher killer is keeping you one step ahead of you all the time.
There's no backstory for him. It may come out in the second movie.
It may.
But the point, it didn't need it. It's these girls having a good time, and they get. It's sort of like Hellfest. There's no backstory for that guy.
No, not
we
yet.
think he might have been a disgruntled employee. Don't know. That's all we know.
Yeah. I like to think this guy may have been an escape inmate who dressed up like a clown, and he took some scalpels, even a gun. This is unusual for me, because in the past we've had slasher killers who wielding knives,
Sharp
machetes,
things, axes,
whatever. We never had a gun.
Well, he had a gun as well as. Just in case.
This is a first, because in the past we've never seen that ever.
Here's something. It's a thrilling, brutal, gory 80s throwback that I recommend checking out, especially if you have a fondness for the same decade of films that this movie obviously holds in high regard. There you go. See? So it's aimed high, probably to do a retro feel to it. I think they've done a good job. Yeah.
Well, I understand what this person means by 80s feel. I think he's referring to going back to the old way of filming style.
That's how they used to do it. There used to be a lot more blood and guts like these sort of movies.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s. And let's get into it and just rip people apart and stuff. And without any storyline. But there is a storyline, don't get me wrong.
All the time keeping your audience suspense up.
Bit of suspense, bit of
gore. Like the part where he's in the cafe and he's eyeing his victims in a creepy moment.
Pretty.
Yeah, and you don't know what's inside his bag of tricks. It could have been a dead body for all I know.
Couple of dead cats, maybe. Nah, poor pussy cats.
Anyway, so let's rate this now.
Well, I'm glad you asked me. Now, as always, I don't compare apples and oranges. Okay? I will not compare, say, a B movie to an A movie. But this is clearly an independent movie.
That's what I like about it.
Done on a skinny budget. And I'm going to grade it higher because what they've managed to achieve on a low budget is really good. I'd like to see what this guy could do if he had some serious money to throw at a project. Because this is really good for the amount of money they outlaid. So I'm going to give this about a 9 and a half. No, I'll give it a 9. A 9, there you go.
Yeah. Well, as for me, while they call it a B movie or whatever, or an 80s tribute, whatever, but I think in my mind, this is an independent film project, and I like the fact that he's the director has done a good job trying to put his story together, and without any outside interference with his plot. It has a great mixture of stuff, and it does take you back to the old days where people make movies with such a skinny budget.
Yeah, and that's what I like. A skinny budget with a lot of dedicated people. And, they've done it. They've managed to pull it off.
They did it. They done it. They kicked butt.
They came. They saw. They kicked its film can.
Anyway, I'm going to rate this. I'm going to give it 10 out of 10 for me, because I prize above all things that independence in films, and I prize most in this industry original story, not taken from another movie, not a remake, just a movie that has its own story and its own iconic character that it will probably go down in history as its next, well-known horror icon in the next couple of years, I like to think. Sort of like, just like the Jason Voorhees, the Michaels and Freddy's, and the other ones that came before this.
Company. Yeah.
He's going to become, I think, the newest icon that will will bring new light to this industry.
Well, bring new blood to it.
New blood, new skill stuff. So anyway,
Now, where did you get it?
Where'd you get it?
I'm glad you asked. Okay, eBay. There are listings there for DVDs to be purchased on eBay. Amazon, you can rent it and you can buy it there as well. So it's there if you want it. And I did notice you can get art dolls and different things there if you like. Art the Clown doll. Yeah, you put it right next to Chucky doll and Annabelle and different things. Yeah, start a horror shelf and put a little doll.
I already have my own one, which is
she got an Elvira shelf.
Yeah, an Jason Voorhees doll, which has a button on the back that says that sort of thing.
I like that. It's also just creepy. That.
But I'm kind of glad that in Terrifier that he doesn't talk. I don't.
No, actually,
it's really okay with that.
No, one bit. Even when he's been beaten up, he's been. He even gets wounded. Didn't he get wounded?
Yeah, he did. I remember he even did the finger.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Yeah. But he got wounded and different things, and he should have been going, oh, nothing, not a sausage. He didn't say squat.
I like to think that he also may either. Is it possible that he may not be able to speak? Like maybe.
Well, that's a possibility.
Maybe he even cut his own vocal cords. Ooh.
Well, you never know. See, there's no backstory.
Again, we'll have to see the second movie.
It's Harpo Marx. I said no.
Again, we'll see the second movie, and maybe we'll fill in some blanks.
And we might do the sequel next. Not tonight.
Maybe.
On our next podcast.
Yeah, because we're going to be getting very busy this week, and I'm hopefully, say probably after whatever I'm doing this week, I'll then do a sit down and watch the next one after that, obviously.
Exactly.
Because at the moment, we have a very busy schedule ahead at the moment.
This is a bad time of month for us. So we've got film shoots, we've got Halloween stuff on, we've got we've got kiddies.
Yeah, we also have 2 tickets to check out this new Saw movie.
Yeah.
By now, you probably, seeing as this video will be already out in October.
We're a couple of weeks ahead here.
We will probably be, or this video will probably, we've probably already been and gone already, seen it.
What?
Well, we've already watched it.
English?
We already watched it, and then, and by the time this video comes out, we've already seen it, and we've already laid our final judgment.
Yeah. Something. I think I know what you're talking about. Anyway,
I just mean like.
What's trying to say? We're doing an event. We're seeing an event screening, are we?
Yes, advanced screening.
And we're a couple of weeks ahead. So by the time we review it, it may be about the same time it's coming out. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Or when it finishes.
Or soon thereafter.
Depending on the fact if it's going to be a good one.
If it's any good. We hope so. I like Mr. Saul. He's lovely. He's very. He's fair.
Tobin Bell does a good job playing him.
I love his voice. Do you want to play a little game? I love it. It's really good.
Yeah, I hope that
I wish I could talk that way.
I hope that I had very high expectations for the last movie, but I just hope this one will not disappoint me.
Yeah, so I'd love to sound like Tobin Bell or Tony Todd. I sound more like the Crypt Keeper, Hello, kiddies. That's what I get, I don't get a really serious voice, do I,
Yeah, so I hope that when we do see the Saw one, I do hope we won't be disappointed.
Nah, never, nah.
I want to be surprised.
Sarah gets annoyed if it strays too far off the beaten track with the storyline, but some lines it's a spin-off, like that one there we saw... Spiral from the book Saw. That was supposed to be a spin-off, not a part of the actual Saw movies.
Yeah, I was just thinking the other day, Mike, after we did our review on this one, I thought, on the Spiral one, that I was thinking about how it would have been great if they didn't put the name Saw
from the book of Saw. Yeah,
in the movie. If you want to do a movie that does not have anything connection to the Saw franchise, maybe it would have been best not to mention that part as a bit of an underline.
Well, possibly.
It would have probably made its own,
Yes, possibly. I think they use that bit of leverage to get some interest in it. That's all. Anyway,
so you know where to get it, and you know our thoughts on it. So be sure to go check it out.
I reckon this is a good watch.
Yes.
If you like blood, suspense, jump scares,
horror,
slash movies, it's not bad.
And you're looking for something that's Halloween to boost your
and it's
Halloween
something a tad
interest.
different. Like I said, it had a very limited run, so it may have flown. I didn't know it existed until Sarah brought it to my attention.
Yeah, well, it was thanks to my friend James A. Janice who brought it to my attention.
Yeah, so it gets around. So they're sharing ideas, aren't they?
Oh yeah, it's always good to share. I always encourage this sort of thing.
And sharing, yeah.
Anyway, so
How about Ollie? We tell Ollie about it?
I'm sure we will. Anyway, you know where to find it, and you let us know in the comments what you guys think of it, as usual. So that's it from us, guys, from Boys and Ghouls Film Review. So this is Sarah Stephenson
and Marl
saying, see you guys around on Boys and Ghouls Film Review. Bye for now.
Bye.